Welcome to the presentation on social emotional learning and its connection to online safety skills. My name is Chad Kleefoth and I'm the Digital Learning Consultant at the Department of Public Instruction in Madison, Wisconsin. Today I want to talk with you about the importance of these two topics, as well as their connection and the many resources that exist for you to implement today in your classrooms, in your schools, in your homes, and across all content areas. So we start with the why. Why is it so important that we learn about these two topics? Well, we're living in an always-on society. We always have technology in our hands, whether it's in the morning, waking up to an alarm clock on our cell phone, or in schools, using iPads and Chromebooks on a daily basis to complete our homework and explore new options, or after school just to check in to make sure everybody made it home and is safe. Technology is becoming part of our everyday life. We always have technology in our hand. So we need to make sure that we are educating students, parents, teachers, administrators on the importance of making safe and healthy choices online and how those choices are affecting other people. Social emotional learning and online safety are integral parts and foundational pieces of the work that we're doing in and out of schools. They are embedded in our Wisconsin Digital Learning Plan, as well as the new Wisconsin ITL standards for technology in all content areas. These important topics exist within our PBIS programs. They should be a very important part of our one-to-one initiatives as we're rolling out technology and putting that in the hands of our teachers and students. We need to make sure that we're focusing on these topics and the importance of making safe choices when we're using digital tools. This should be embedded in our curriculum and our programming all across schools, making sure that it is a very important focus that we are providing that professional development for teachers and the initiatives, the learning for students, as well as education for parents. As kids are bringing these pieces of technology home, it's important that we're educating parents on the correct ways to use these things. Social emotional learning isn't a new topic in schools. It's something that we've focused on for years, but it has traditionally come from counseling offices or student services. This has worked, but it might not be the best approach. As we're integrating technology and truly pushing education forward and enhancing the classroom experience, it's very important that this becomes an integral part of the curriculum and what it is we're teaching on a daily basis. It needs to be part of lesson planning. It needs to be integrated into classrooms as well as in a lot of other things that we're doing. As we're teaching, it's important to help navigate these digital tools and resources with students as opposed to just showing them how to do it. We need to model these skills in and out of the classrooms. So with students in professional development, as we're bringing parents into the schools to have engagement nights, just to demonstrate what it is that we're doing in your districts and the learning that's happening, parents need to know, and this is a great way to help educate them on the importance as well as the how-to with some of these skills. Social emotional learning focuses on perspective, empathy, and compassion. It helps us understand how our choices are affecting other people. Not always easy to do when we're using technology. Not always easy to understand there's somebody on the other end of that app or the other end of that program. So through social emotional learning, we're building character and connecting it with our choices, making safe and healthy choices when using digital tools. Technology is an incredible tool and gives us an opportunity to truly enhance the pedagogy, the amazing things that are happening in classrooms, and expand it to places that we haven't ever been able to go before. But it's also important that we're teaching online safety and digital citizenship skills so kids understand what it means to practice safe and healthy choices while they're navigating those digital tools. We're really asking kids to think critically while using these pieces of technology, but it's truly important that we are also making sure that they're able to make really good choices when faced with a digital situation. So as we gain a better understanding of the two topics individually, social emotional learning and online safety, you can see that there is a natural connection between the two. As we're teaching the compassion and empathy skills to students and helping them to better understand how their decisions are affecting other people. It leads us into making safer and healthier choices while we're online. Students are able to take ownership of their actions, whether you're navigating digital tools, and they also better understand the consequences that come along with those. I want to take a couple minutes to walk you through some of the amazing resources that exist on our DPI website that you can utilize in your classrooms, in your professional development, in the things that you're doing with your teachers and parents. The first page I want to take you to is the connection page. It exists within our internet safety website, but it is a little bit more about the connection that exists between social emotional learning and online safety. The beginning couple of paragraphs talk a little bit about each topic and the true connection that exists. The first couple of links that you'll find at the top of the page are, again, more information. There's a fantastic infographic that our Safe and Healthy Schools department has put together to inform about social emotional learning, as well as there is a new UW Extensions website that has articles and some activities at the elementary level that you can implement into your classroom. It's a really, really good website that you can bring into your schools and use right away. The next thing I want to talk about is this document right here. CASEL, CASEL, is the national organization for social emotional learning. They have a really good document and a strong tie to some of these main domains here. What we did is we were able to crosswalk our new Wisconsin ITL standards with those main topics, and in turn align them with the new Wisconsin social emotional learning competencies. So a fantastic way to look at the key content areas in the ITL standards and align them with the competencies for the social emotional learning at the state level. If you continue to scroll, you will see we have drawn on connections between the two of these pieces and lesson plans. So you will see main topics that exist within our internet safety website, as well as lessons that bring in that social emotional piece. And you're really hitting both topics. Everything from cyberbullying, digital citizenship, down to digital relationships, privacy security, social media. Most of these you'll find are geared towards middle and high school, and that tends to be the case as most programs have federal laws that say you have to be at least 13 to have them. So diving into a lot of these really makes sense at the middle and high school level. But again, if you scroll to the top, you'll find this link here, Raising Caring Kids. The UW Extensions website has some fantastic resources and activities for that elementary level. Jumping back, you will see that there is a direct link to those, the crosswalk, the alignment to the social and emotional learning competencies and the new Wisconsin information and technology literacy standards that you can click on. It'll take you straight to that document. The other link that I want to talk briefly about will take us to the Internet Safety website. This website was originally created in partnership between the Department of Public Instruction and the Department of Justice in Wisconsin. The Department of Justice has some fantastic resources, and they were looking at a way to get into schools to share what it is that they have. In the initial parts of this partnership, we realized that there's a ton of really good resources out there, and teachers could benefit from understanding and being able to utilize them without having to vet all of those resources and figure out which ones are the best. So what we did is we created a website that brings in all of these resources from very important, well-known organizations, everything from NetSmarts to Common Sense Education to ISTE, Google, a lot of fantastic things that exist out there, but you can find them all in one place. The website is dpi.wi.gov/internet-safety. So the main page that you land on walks you through some of the main topics. We landed with internet safety as opposed to digital citizenship because we feel like internet safety covers a lot more than what digital citizenship is. Digital citizenship is a very important piece of the pie, but it's so much more than just that part. So you've got everything from copyrights and plagiarism to your digital footprint, or as we're referring to, your digital tattoo, because it never really goes away, identity theft, privacy and security, social media, gaming, lots of topics, and you can click on these and it'll take you in and give you some more information. So the way that this page is organized is by stakeholder. On the left-hand side, you will see that there are different links to stakeholder groups. The parent group, we took a little bit different viewpoint, looked at each one of these with a little bit different lens. For the parents, it's more informative. We want to share information with parents, find ways in which they can be involved in what it is that their kids are doing, as well as provide some tips as they're helping their kids set up some apps and programs to make sure that they're protecting their identity. A lot of times, the best thing that parents can do is just having conversations with their kids. Find out what it is that their kids are doing, where they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And a lot of times this leads to a lot of those initial exploration conversations so the parents can really get into the heart of what's going on. There's some other really good resources on the parents page. There is from the American Academy of Pediatrics, there is a family media plan. You can actually sit down and fill this out based on how old your kids are, the type of technology they're using, and it will generate a family plan of how much screen time you should be allowing your kids to have. Some real quick, easy vocabulary information in pretty plain and simple terms about federal laws and how they impact the use of technology, ages, and those types of things. As well as, you'll find this on a couple of pages, the Department of Justice has a fantastic resource, and it's really a place that you can go numerous times and listen to a lot of really good podcasts. It's their PKO podcast, Protecting Kids Online podcast. They have industry experts that come in and have conversations. They give tips. We've done some guest podcasting ourselves here at the Department of Public Instruction, and really provide a lot of good information. Easy, quick listens. Usually they're anywhere from, I'd say, 5 to maybe 15 minutes. They're pretty quick. You can download them in iTunes and listen to them on your way to work or on a prep in the classroom. But great for sharing with parents and being able to utilize really on a daily basis if needed. So if we click over here to the educator page, the approach we took with the educator page is implementation today. We don't want this to be something extra where teachers are finding that they have to spend ample amounts of time trying to figure out ways they can implement this into their classroom. So what we tried to do is provide samples and tools that they can use in their classrooms and in the things that are happening right now. If you're unaware of it, Common Sense is rolling out some updated digital citizenship lesson plans. They just came out with their 3-5 lesson plans for grades 3 through 5. They will next spring come out with the 6-8, and then fall of 2019 will come the 9-12 K2 lesson plans. Some really phenomenal stuff for integrating it into your classroom. There are some other sample lesson plans here for teachers to utilize, everything from Be Internet Awesome to being able to plug right in for those of the districts that use programs like Seesaw. There are some really cool digital citizenship resources you can plug right in. A lot of really good things that exist, but again, we want teachers to be able to utilize this. We don't want it to be one more thing. Having been a former educator myself, I truly understand the importance of time, and it needs to easily integrate with what I'm already doing. I'm probably not going to do it. So you'll see sample lesson plans, actual videos. A lot of times teachers really understand and internalize things better when they can watch another teacher and how they carried out a lesson in their classrooms. So here's some sample videos, and there's links here to more of those. And like I said, the PKO podcast. But again, we really don't want this to feel like something extra. Because it's that important, we want it to be part of our everyday lives and everyday lessons. So finally over here is the students page. This one took a little bit more of a engaging, interactive approach. And so what we tried to do is find and link to resources that kids can use and engage with. So games, videos, anything that was a little bit more interactive to keep their attention. So again, we've got videos of kids talking about these situations. We find that students tend to understand and internalize things just like teachers do more when they see people their own age talking about these topics and how it actually happened to them. So really cool resources there. There's some interactive learning. Be Internet Awesome is something that's really taking hold, and a lot of districts are starting to use and implement that. There's some lesson plans that go right along with that, as well as some print off things, some quick flyers you could print off and hand out in your classes as you're talking about some of these things with your students. Great thing about a lot of these resources, especially on NetSmarts, and I believe Common Sense Media now has the ability to do this, but you can get them, a lot of these resources, bilingual. They come in English and Spanish. So pretty cool opportunity to get some diverse resources as well. Last thing I want to touch on the left-hand side are our two Keeping Kids Safe Online. The month of October in Wisconsin is Keeping Kids Safe Online. And this is our opportunity to kind of kick off the online safety skills and focus on some activities for the beginning of the school year to be carried out through the rest of the school year. This year we really focused on the connection with social and emotional learning because it is so important. And as we are bringing those social and emotional learning competencies into our schools, it naturally is assisting with that online safety and those online exhibiting safe and healthy behaviors when they're online. The other piece is, this is where you'll find the link to the document I showed you before, or the page that starts drawing connections between the social emotional learning and the online safety. The research that goes along with the connection of these two topics is ongoing. I wanted to quickly talk about a research project that we're doing with our Midwest Comm Center. We are continuing to explore the connection between social emotional learning, online safety, mental health, and how it's impacting the student learning experience in and out of classrooms. We are in the process of creating a literature review of other studies and resources that exist about these topics so that we can dive a little bit deeper into this connection. Our hopefully next step will be to bring in and create some student focus groups. Who better to get some of this information from than kids themselves? Sitting down to have conversations with how they feel, how they're being impacted with technology, how it's having an impact on their relationships, as well as just the normal skills that we're hoping kids are going to have. I think it's truly important to explore it further and have those conversations with those students. I appreciate the opportunity to share these great resources and tools with you on two very important topics, social and emotional learning and online safety. As always, we would love to hear some feedback from you. If you would take 2 or 3 minutes to travel to this tiny URL, it gives us an opportunity to find out what it is that you need to continue to do the amazing things that are happening in schools, and allows us to build resources that are meaningful, that will actually be used throughout the state of Wisconsin. Again, my name is Chad Kleefoth. I'm the digital learning consultant at the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, and I thank you for your time.